Brother Greg. And Sister Eileen.
Thank you, sister. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
Good afternoon.
God works in mysterious ways. It's still a mystery why I'm standing here in front of you. My greatest fear is public speaking. Anyway, with the power of the Holy Spirit, I won't fail. Don't worry. Talk number 7, the Christian family. It's my the family is under heavy attack. There are a lot of broken homes, divorces, destroyed marriages, live-ins, unwanted children. Even the traditional definition of men and women and the family is being challenged. We have the cultural left pushing for things like abortion rights, as well as political correctness movements. We have to face up to these challenges to come out intact and stronger. Praise God, we have our faith. God has given us clear instructions through His teachings and the Bible on how to face these challenges. What we need to do is to discern and follow God's plan for us. God's plan for the family. What is the family? The family is the basic unit of society designed and intended by God. The family is God's covenant arrangement where two people, male and female, are joined to one flesh. For this cause a man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. It is a covenant in that it is an agreement, a promise made between the couple getting married. The covenant is before God and is binding until death or adultery breaks the union. Again, quoting from Genesis chapter 1, verses 27 to 28. And God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him. Male and female He created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, over every living thing that moves on earth. God intended man and woman to be one, not individually producing babies, but husband and wife, raising a family. Man and woman have their own unique strengths. Not that one is more than the other, but just different. The strengths combined is crucial in parenting. So, what is the purpose of the family? It is the place for teaching and training children. The Catechism of the Catholic Church states that the role of parents in education is of such importance that it is almost impossible to provide an adequate substitute. So the family is like a school. Unlike formal classroom training, teaching is mainly done through daily activities and interactions at home. Children are not only educated in matters of conventional academic knowledge, but in matters of morality, virtues, and Christian values. It is a place to transmit wisdom. It is where the discernment of what's right and wrong is first taught to children. It is also a place for training leaders. In 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 4 to 5, one who rules his own house well, having his children in submission with all reverence. For if a man does not know how to rule his own house, how will he take care of the church of God? And very importantly, the family is also a domestic church. The domestic church where children should first discover the reality and existence of an all-loving God. It is the role of the parents to present God to their family. Catechism should begin from the father and mother. The family is the first place where children should learn the teachings and values of the church. As it says in the book of Deuteronomy, recite them to your children and talk about them when you are at home, when you are away, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them as a sign on your hand, fix them as an emblem on your forehead, and write them on the doorpost of your house and your gates. We also have the role of presenting our families to God. Following the examples of the Blessed Mother Mary and Saint Joseph presenting the child Jesus at the Temple in Jerusalem. Daily family prayer is a must to keep God in the center of our family. After all, it is within the family in which the children should first learn how to praise and pray to God. The Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, is the ideal Christian family, as they demonstrated the importance of wholly consecrating and entrusting their lives to God's will. Like a house built on solid foundations cannot be toppled down, a family founded on and centered on God will endure and stand strong amidst the storms of everyday life. Let me now invite my son Martin to talk about why God's plan is not happening.
Alright, so God's plan is not happening anymore, so why not? And there are a couple of reasons. So the first reason is that God is not the center of our families anymore. As my father mentioned, God should be the foundation of the Christian family. Without God as the foundation, the family can easily be shaken or shattered. This is exactly what the devil wants. The devil wants to break up the family. As society is becoming more and more secular, the family is also losing its traditional definition, set by God. People are raising their children using man's way instead of God's way. Materialism is on the rise. Families are becoming more interested in investing in properties rather than investing in eternal life. The focus has shifted from accumulating to accumulating earthly treasures, money, fame, and power, rather than heavenly treasures. Aside from this, the roles of husbands and wives have become confusing and is now seen as easily interchangeable, although St. Paul clearly outlines in Ephesians. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her. As a result of all these reasons, traditional marriage is deteriorating. Divorces and separations, although the rate is decreasing, are still widespread. There is also a strong push for abortion rights to terminate the life of unwanted children before birth. It seems like we as a society are turning away from God more and more. Now, the second reason is that the role of the family is seen as not important anymore. The family has become dispensable. Live-in and de facto relationships, as well as divorces, make marriage and family life seem less of a lifetime commitment bound by God. The fast pace of modern life as well limits the amount of time families spend with each other. Usually, financial pressures force parents to live severely work-oriented lives. Due to this, parents get to spend less time with their children. which limits the role in education of children in virtues and morality. Even worse, children now are at higher risk of acquiring a distorted or a false sense of morality from the internet. Moreover, modern technology, especially social media, now play the primary role in individual leisure and recreation, significantly lessening the time spent bonding with my other family members. So now I'm going to invite my mother to talk about some practical advice on how to tackle these challenges.
So, good afternoon. So, from what we have heard from Greg and Martin, as well as from the things we observed around us, we are very much aware that the Christian family is threatened. The devil is always watching and looking for ways to destroy God's plan for the families. As believers of Christ, we have to open our eyes and be sensitive to what these circumstances are telling us. So, as Christians, what can we do to stop this from happening? So, I will be sharing a few ideas and practical advice on how to build strong Christian families. Number one, make a decision that in your family you want God's plan to happen. So to be able to do this, we should have God as the center of our family life. When God is at the center of our family, He blesses the family, guides the family, and protects the family. So when Greg and I started a family, we decided that we will work hard to keep our family intact and to train and bring up our children in the ways of the Lord. As the Proverbs 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. We also have decided to allow Christ to lead our family and to have Christ as the foundation of our home, and let Christ work in our family life. Another one is take time and give attention to the task of building a strong family. So this is all about spending time with your family. So I know that we parents, we are always caught up with our busy schedule of activities, which start from Monday morning and ends on Sunday evening. So we are all rushing to complete our tasks, like, at work or household chores, or make to our appointment or commitments or other errands. But, in reality, this long to-do list never really ends. Do you agree?
Yes.
But do you also agree that spending time with your family, with your children, is one best way that you can show that you love them, you care for them, and they are important? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So, we should be examining our daily life to make sure that our family has enough time together. So, here are some suggestions, recommendations, and practical ideas that can make spending time with your family simple, meaningful, and a part of your daily life. I don't know where I'm at. Okay. One way is to eat together as a family, at least one meal in a day. So for us, the most convenient time is dinner. So we usually make sure that before we eat our dinner that everyone is home. So we adjust to each other's schedule, and we usually wait for everyone to be home before we eat dinner. But for your case, just see what works best for you and just work it out. just make sure that eating together. You have one meal in a day that you eat together. So what benefits, advantages, and opportunities this habit of eating together bring to the family? This habit of sitting down to eat together as a family allows every family member to communicate with each other. It allows every member to be part of daily conversation. So during eating time, it's also like, talking time. So we usually talk about how our day was, and then the kids will tell us like about school and their friends. And this is one way to know like who their friends are and what type of people they go with. And we as parents, we share like about our work, and in this way they get to know more about what we do in our job and our colleagues as well. And then sometimes they would share like stories from school students who got in trouble, and this will give us an opportunity to teach them values about respect. And we also talk about accomplishments for the day and also things that didn't go very well during the day. So when this comes up, we will discuss like how they could have handled the situation better, or how they can improve themselves, or how to make things better. Okay, and everyone at home has agreed that during meal times, we would no mobile phone, no iPads, TV turned off, so there are no distractions, and we can just concentrate on with our conversation, communicating and catching up. So every mealtime, we look forward to hearing each other's stories, and we get excited to like see each other and hear stories. So while eating together is a good time to communicate with each other, it also encourages children to speak out their ideas and thoughts on certain matters. However, there will be times at our own home, that conversations will not end very well. Because if they did something bad, of course, we will give them sermon, or they will get reprimanded for their bad doings and behavior. And sometimes it will end up like one will walk away, or one end up crying, but that's normal, that's part of life. Okay, so if you have younger kids, so what are the ways that you can spend time with your young kids? You can read books with them, or read them bedtime stories, or do arts and crafts together. And with your daily chores at home, you can get them involved by like if you are baking, you can ask them to do the sprinkles, or put the chocolate chip on top of the muffin or the cupcake, or you can ask them to like mix the ingredients in a bowl, or you can do the chores. You can do the chores with your kids. Okay, and also if you have teenagers, it's very important that we step into we get ourselves involved in their life, because their attention is now divided. They have discovered the world outside family, and they're exploring the social world. They spend more time now with their friends. So we try to like keep up with them now that these teens are into social media. We also try to keep up so we can check their activities in social media. Or you can also be creative, like you can send them message or photo or video using Facebook or Instagram. So because I think they find it cool. Okay, Take note that there is no substitute for constant communication, even more if it is a face-to-face interaction with our children. So find a way, find a specific time or dedicated time in a day that you can talk to your child, even if it is only for 5 minutes. Because in this way, if there's a need for them to talk about something, they would know that this specific time of the day, they would know that you are available and you'll definitely be there to listen to them. And then you can encourage them to open up and share about their lives. So if we need to cut down on other activities, then we have to do so. If we can spend like an hour or two browsing Facebook and looking into other people's lives, 5 minutes with your child is not much, isn't it? I know that it takes a little more effort, but it is possible. Because our relationship with our children, it's like a bank. We deposit time, we deposit care, energy, and effort. So in return, we can withdraw love and respect from our children. And another thing is plan family recreation and family holiday. Make travel time a family time. So if you do long drive, to make it fun, you share stories, and then there isn't much to do in the car. If you do long drive, it gives us opportunity to pray together as a family, because we pray for God's traveling mercy, and we do our family prayer. We pray the rosary when we travel. So that's a good bonding time as well. And some recreation that we can do at home can be a weekend movie night, or play board games or cards or video games with our children. Spending time with family does not need to cost money. Holidays do not need to be grand or luxurious. As long as you spend time together, that's what matters. Most of these things that I mentioned do not involve money. It is more of making an effort to make time for your family. Okay. Praying together as a family. We are all familiar with the saying, the family that prays together stays together. Prayer strengthens the bond between husband and wife, brother and sister, and parent and child. So we started praying as a family when I was 31 weeks pregnant with Bettina. I was having premature contractions, and I was admitted to the hospital, and they gave me medication to stop the baby from coming out. And then so I was in the hospital for a week, and then after that, I went home, but I was advised to have complete bed rest for another 4 weeks. But we were told that if I have to deliver a preterm baby, the local hospital where I was planning to give birth is not equipped with facility that can look after preterm babies. So I have to deliver to a hospital which is like 2 hours away from where we live. So we were very scared. And then the whole family, including my in-laws, we just turned to God and we started praying. So everyone would say their prayer, and then we will pray the rosary. So by God's grace and goodness, I was able to deliver my youngest child, Bettina, safely and healthy. So since then on, praying together as a family has become a daily habit in our family life. Praying as a family became more intimate when we moved to Australia, when we were just starting our life here in Australia, because We have so many fears. We don't know what's ahead of us. We're starting our life here, and we are worried about our work, because at the beginning, I was the one who was working, and it took time for Greg to find a job. We were worried about the kids, how they will adjust here. We are worried about our finances and with our visas. So what we did, the whole family has put our complete trust in the Lord. The more that we spend time together, and then we started reading daily devotions and reading the Bible. So the kids will take turns in reading the Bible, and each one will say their prayers, their own intentions, and then we will pray the rosary. So this takes us about 30 to 45 minutes every night before we go to bed. So through these years, there are so many good things that come out from praying together as a family. Daily family prayer allows us to spend time together as a family. And another thing, children hear how we bring our needs and requests before the Lord with humility. So for every answered prayer and every blessing that we receive every day, each of us will give our, praises and thanks through our prayer. And each of us is having the same experience of God's love, and each of us become aware of God's presence in the details of our daily life. Also, the children hear that parents pray to God to bless them in His name. So they hear that we always pray for them, that the Lord will bless them and protect them and guide them in everything that they do. And then we were able to model how to talk to the Lord and how to show our concern to other people by praying for other people. And through prayers, I think we also communicate through prayers, because, when we say our own intentions, when they say their own intentions, it becomes known to us the deepest desires of their heart. Like, if they want something, they will pray for it. Like if they want good grades, or they want to win a competition, or they want to perform well. If they have they have to perform at school, they will pray for it. Or if they pray for someone who is sick, and then that person get well. So we come to know what's in their hearts. And also, prayer allows us to make peace with everyone in the family, because it's normal that during the day we will have our misunderstandings and disagreements. So after prayer time, this gives us opportunity to say goodnight to each other and kiss goodnight, and then hug each other and say I love you. So that means that you already, everything is forgotten, and then it will be awkward that you will not say goodbye and good night and I love you to after praying. So I think that's a good thing. So I hope and pray that my children, when they have their family of their own, they will be able to do the same to their family. We know it is not easy. It is always a struggle. Yes, it's always a struggle, because sometimes it would take us half an hour to get everyone in one place. Normally we do it in our bedroom. It's usually Greg who would say, can we pray now? Can we pray now? And everyone is still doing their own thing. And then Greg will complain, I will only have 5 hours of sleep now. Can we pray now? But we still try to do it. It's a work in progress on how we can improve in making time for God with family. There's no school that teaches us how to be good parents or how to raise our children. every day is a challenge. We learn by trial and error. We just have to keep learning. We as parents just need to go back to the basic teachings of the Bible and just pray for God's guidance. Okay, and last but not the least, learn more about God's vision for our families. So, seek ways on how your family will grow more spiritually in the knowledge and love of the Lord. So, go to Mass together every Sunday and holy days of obligation. And read the Bible or read Christian books that will help you every day. It has helped us because, when you read things about God, you feel different. You learn something new, and then sometimes when your mood is not good, and then you'll just turn and then read something about God. It will change your mood, and then it will enlighten your spirit. It will enlighten your spirit. And another thing. Join Couples for Christ Australia. So how did we join? We have always been wanting to be part of a parish-based group or community so we can serve God better. Because God has been so good to our family, we would like to give back. We have always been wanting our children to be part of a youth group. So we came across Couples for Christ as Australia during a church event. I think it was an expo one Sunday, when different groups in Good Shepherd Parish put up a stall so interested parishioners can go around and inquire. We spotted Couples for Christ stall just outside that door. And they invited us to attend Christian Living program, which will commence the following Sunday or 2 Sundays after that. So I remember that if we confirm that day, hang on, let me get that. I forgot the person who handed this to me. So this one, if you remember. Yeah. So I was told that if we confirm that very moment, they will give me this. So I said yes, but not because of this cup. We said yes because we heard God's calling, we listened to His calling, and we are so delighted of their warm welcome and feel so blessed that we have become part of this community. Okay? And so through Couples for Christ Community Australia, we were able to attend teachings on marriage and family life, and we also have this household meeting. So we are blessed because since we became members, we have been under 2 different households whose household leaders are very keen and diligent holding household meeting. We try to meet as much as possible whenever our schedule permits. Yes, our schedule is very tight, but by God's grace, He makes way that we can meet together. We look forward to our household meeting every time. Household meeting allows us to take short time away from our usual routine, especially on the weekend. Rather just doing chores at home. And so this allows us to a short time away from our usual routine and just spend time to pray for each other and other people. Pray for healing, sing praises, and reflect on God's goodness. After every household meeting, I feel that my body and spirit is rejuvenated and renewed. I feel happy and great that I was able to spend time to the Lord. Greg and I talk about it, and he feels the same way as well. I hope hope that each one of you will experience the joy that we feel being part of God's Couples for Christ Community Australia community. Thank you for your time. I'd like to call on Chi, my daughter, to share her personal thoughts regarding this topic. Just a short
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Angelique. Some of you might know me by the nickname Chichi. Yeah. I was here a few weeks ago to talk about YFC. You remember? Yeah. As I mentioned before, growing up, my faith have always served great importance in my life. This is because of my family, and I am grateful to this day that I have been born and raised in a strong Christian family. I have been blessed with people who continues to nurture my faith and encourages me to strengthen my faith with God. My faith has helped me get back on my feet, more particularly recently with my studies, because I'm in year 12 now and HSC is coming up very soon. Yay! It's always been a light of hope in the darkest times as well. Whenever I'm feeling stressed, my family would help me and they would remind me to pray. Sometimes I just focus too much on the things that I need to get done that I forget that to ask God for help as well. And together as a strong Christian family, we are there for each other to grow closer to God. So at the end, wouldn't it be nice if we see our loved ones' faces in heaven with us? Now I'm just going to share a few things that I enjoy, like some special family bonding things that we do. You may think that it'll be about whenever we go out, sometimes my mom would always plan to go out whenever we can, say long weekend or school holidays, but the thing that I enjoy the most is putting food and family together, which is dinner time. So I really enjoy dinner time with my family. I enjoy talking to them, apart from my mom's stories about her, because she's a nurse. She talks about operations, and I don't like listening to that while eating. But apart from that, I really enjoy listening to their stories and sharing my stories to even my brother with his swimming school, because we're both swim teachers, and it's fun to have different kids all the time and to share our stories, what the kids do, and they're fun, very entertaining stories that we have. And and now I want to invite my sister for a little closing prayer.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Gracious God, thank you for blessing me with my family. Bless us and provide for our needs. Protect us from harm and bring your peace to our hearts. Help us to be the family you intend us to be. May we be a blessing to one another and to others. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. In the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Bettina, and thank you, Mama's family, Brother Greg, Brother Sister Eileen, Martin and Chichi, for sharing us your Christian family life, and that is a very nice photo. And for you two, the youth, we have a mission for you. Okay, so yeah, it is really hard. We have a lot of challenges within our Christian family to bring up our family within the Christian faith. There's a lot of obstruction, destruction, or there are a lot of bad things going around. So you've mentioned we are more too busy about saving treasures here on earth, but spending time here, we are saving treasures in heaven. And I picked up one thing. Once in a while we do have, because our kids are all grown up, so once in a while we try to bring them all together and have Sunday family dinner. And I make them say their Thanksgiving one by one, which is sometimes they're not used to, so I force them to say the Thanksgiving prayer. But one thing I picked up, I don't ask them their personal intentions. So we might do that as well. So in that way, you see what they're aspiring, or what their dreams are, and what they're praying for. And maybe in a way you can guide them in their prayers. So that's the one thing that I picked up. And on doing one-on-one, sometimes, not very often, we have a small Mama Mary grotto in our backyard. I call them one by one and sit them down in front of the grotto. So, and then talk to them one-on-one. So, we should do that more often. Okay, so now we go on to our discussion group for those two topics. Okay, so we will have about